One of the major challenges that the ship owners actually will be facing in the 2020 is the sulfur compliance. What exactly do they need to do, and how prepared are they in your view?
Well, I think that as a P&I club, from the insurance perspective, it's not really appropriate for us to tell them what to do. What we need to emphasize, though, for them is to, whatever choice it is that they make, that before they make the choice, they do a full risk assessment, that they follow the guidelines, that they ensure that they approach the whole plan from an educational perspective, from a training perspective, in order to be able to prove ultimately that they've conducted a full due diligence in getting prepared. Because from the insurance side, that's the important part. And especially when we're talking about third-party liability, most of the casualties end up occurring from mistakes made by people. So for us, it's about awareness, it's training, and it's education, so that and being able to document that whole process, so that ultimately, if anything bad does happen, and we think there are going to be some growing pains probably, that nobody can point the finger and say that they didn't do what they needed to do. Because accidents are always going to happen regardless. I think that's the ultimate key.
The installation of scrubbers on ships is one key requirement. How do you think this is going to affect the insurance risks or the potential risks that may arise from this?
Right. Well, the installation of scrubbers is one of the choices, right? So it's not a requirement. It's one of the options that they have. I think that every single choice that they have, all of the 4 options, has potential issues of liability and impact on insurance. And like I said, it still all comes back to training. So like, for example, if you've got a plan to install scrubbers and you don't do proper training, you may get into issues of not only unseaworthiness, but incompetence from the crew. And I think that there's going to be a great burden on the crew, regardless of which option you implement.
Is the industry ready to actually comply with the new requirements, especially when it comes to insurance risks as well?
Well, I think that, I'm not an industry expert and I haven't really studied any of the stats that have come out. I think that most stakeholders are in the process. If they've not already done it, they're in an active process of ensuring compliance. I don't think that non-compliance is an option. So even the people that are saying wait and see, they still have a plan. They may not be installing scrubbers, but they still have a plan, and I think that's the ultimate goal.
How do you think will the insurance fees be affected by the 2020 compliance on sulfur?
Insurance premiums, you mean? How they
insurance premiums concerning the ship
you mean the insurance, meaning the impact on liabilities and the exposure. Well, I think that P&I clubs have been handling these types of things from the beginning of time. I mentioned that during the panel talk as well. I think that the aspects of liabilities aren't going to change. Historically, they've always been low, these types of issues for us, and casualties. What I think is going to change is the scale might get magnified, but I think it's going to probably be a temporary situation. I don't think it's going to be a long-term situation.
Finally, a comment on the Capital Link event?
Oh, I think that the Capital Link conference is probably one of the most productive conferences that I've participated in. I think that they do a really good job of choosing the people and making sure that they have all of the stakeholders represented. I simply think it's great.